Last week, the Cape Cod Technology Council hosted a Coffe Q&A Zoom meeting with Brian Braginton-Smith, the Executive Director of the Lewis Bay Research Center, to talk about the development of the Cape Cod Watershed Institute, as well as a living laboratory for experiential learning in a net zero campus at his alma mater, Dennis-Yarmouth High School.
This is sort of a compilation of our lab and is the subject of the DY Watershed Institute, moving the whole facility over to DY campus to create a Center for Experiential Learning, Workforce Training, and Education on the 21st century challenges and how we can bring Cape Cod into the 21st century and take a leadership role in this global crisis.
While the discussion's focus was highlighting the new eco-campus, Smith used this time to express concerns over many growing issues on the Cape.
This is an image of net zero construction. Now you look at it and you're saying, oh, that doesn't look like, a little quaint cottage. No, it's not. We can't afford quaint cottages anymore. We can't afford single family residences. We got to have housing. We've got a crisis here where people are desperate to find some place to live. And our regulations and our focus is causing the problem, not helping the problem. If we had dealt with this issue starting in 1993, we wouldn't be in the crisis that we're in. We got to change our attitude and we've got to change our worldview to reality.
Though many topics were discussed, one issue, Cape Cod's watershed problem, stood out, not only for Smith, but for participants as well.
Okay, so this map is really the problem and the answer. What you see here is Cape Cod. And what you see, all of these little boxes and squiggly lines in the yellow, that delineates the watersheds on Cape Cod. If we don't deal with things on a watershed-based level, we're not solving the problem. And the problem is that the EPA, the county, and a number of folks have decided that there's only one watershed on Cape Cod. They call it the Cape Cod Watershed. And the problem is that it's not one watershed. There are nearly 60 watersheds. And by ignoring those boundaries and ignoring those parameters, we are never going to be able to solve the problem.
I'm also sharing your sadness about the water quality on Cape Cod. And what's going to happen in this first year relative to education and relative to impacting local water? Because one of the things that frustrates me incredibly about our comprehensive wastewater management plans is this 30-year timeline. I probably won't be here. I want to know, what can I do today? What can my community do in the next year? How can we make a difference in Cape Cod water in the next year?
I've been at this for over 30 years. And the only thing that I've ended up with is a whole bunch of arrows in my back. So I don't have hope that I'm going to live to see whether or not we deal with this crisis. So I'm asking you folks to help me. We need to mobilize. Like you said, that comprehensive wastewater management plan, that's nothing but kicking cans down the road. The problem is that we've got such a pile of cans that we've kicked down the road that we can no longer get past them. What we keep running into, this is DEP, this is the local boards of health, this is the town officials. They don't want to hear this, and they're continuing with the same old. The comprehensive wastewater management plan is nothing but a 19th century boondoggle. They're focused on solutions that are no longer relevant.
We have to convince the town council and the boards of selectmen. Is that where we go?
That's where we need to go. And the reason that we need to go there is because they've been getting disinformation. If you look at the historical track record, the way that the engineering community has dealt with wastewater is to get away with whatever we can get away with for the least cost. How we don't want to spend any money. If you want to do it cheaply, you got to have one giant treatment plant. Well, you saw that watershed map. You're just causing the problem. You're not solving the problem. We need to create distributed solutions. What we're doing on the energy side, we need to be doing on the water side.
For Cape Media News, I'm Mitch Sock.